Hello and welcome to Making Gold in Guild Wars 2's special series on market manipulation. If you haven't seen the previous videos, I suggest you start with video number 17 and 17B. In the first video on market manipulation, we introduced the two factors which affect the price of a product, which are supply and demand, seen on this chart. We talked about how a product with elastic demand is not a good investment because when we constrict the supply, the price does not rise enough to make it worth our while. In fact, products with perfectly elastic demand will not raise in price at all, no matter how much product we purchase from the market, because the consumers will find alternative products or go without entirely. Let's take a look at the other side of this equation. If this balance right here between supply and demand is what creates the price of a product, then we know that we're looking for products that have inelastic demand. That's just not enough. Globs of ectoplasm are a great example. They have a high demand and there's no replacement products. Therefore, it would have a very inelastic demand, right? This just is not good enough. Let's take a look at Guild Wars 2 Spidey. Here's globs of ectoplasm. Currently, they're going for, let's open up this window so we can see a decent range. There we go. Currently, they're going for a little bit less than 30 silver on the trading post. What would you do if suddenly the price of ectoplasm doubled? Somebody drops a couple thousand gold and bought all the ecto they could get their hands on. Success? For them, probably not. I ask again, what would you do if you needed ecto and suddenly there was 60 silver on the trading post? I'd venture to guess that you'd open up this search window and look for cheap armor. Well, let's see. Let's do this right now. Cheap armor. That's at least level 68 to 80. Let's look at rares. There we go. 5 silver there. And if you want to buy them outright, you can get some as cheap as 23 silver. There are plenty up on the trading post for around that price. Giving an average of 3/4 of an ecto per level 68, and quite a bit more at level 80, we can assume that we can salvage our own ectos for around 30 silver. Enterprising players will notice this and not only salvage a few items for themselves, but they will rush to salvage even more armor and undercut our not-so-savvy marketeer severely. Soon the price of ecto will return to a couple of silver more than he bought it for, and factoring in the trading post cut, he will be out of a large portion of his investment. Always remember this. Markets are made up of thousands, if not millions, of living, breathing human beings. When you make a major move to upset a market, each of those individuals will react. Just as you cannot lower the level of an ocean in one small area without lowering the surface of the entire ocean, it is almost impossible to raise the price of a single product without affecting all the other products out there. In order to manipulate the market, we have to find a product which is difficult to produce. Ecto is one of the worst possible items to manipulate simply because people will immediately increase the supply of the item. If you try to manipulate an item that is near vendor cost, you will suddenly find that hundreds of people who previously vendored the item will instead undercut you. If you try to manipulate an item which is easily farmed, you will find that people instantly will begin farming the item. In short, market manipulation only works when you can control a substantial amount of the supply in the market. Don't attempt to manipulate an item when you cannot control its supply. I mentioned Omnom berries in a previous video. Why? Because it's a great target for manipulation. The demand for Omnom berries is fairly inelastic because it is crafted into the best magic find food in the game. Now look at the other side. How easy is it to farm? How easy would it be to increase the supply of Omnom berries if suddenly someone doubled the price? Well, Omnom berries are found in Cursed Shore and Malcor's Leap. Not easy zones to farm solo. They don't have more than a half dozen spawn points in both zones, so if you did want to farm on your own, you would not be able to farm very quickly. So on one hand, you want to find an item with inelastic demand, on the other, you want to find an item which is difficult to supply. Thank you very much for watching my videos. If you'd like to talk with me one-on-one about your goals in playing the trading post, my contact information is available on the channel information panel. Just make a thread on your favorite Guild Wars 2 forum linking to my videos, and drop me a comment with a link to your thread. Increase the traffic to my channel, and I'll increase the amount of gold in your wallet. Thank you again, and happy Winter's Day.